Nadim, as those calls for unity come, there are still protests across the country.
That's right. Here in Tahrir City, the scene you can see and hear behind me with the supporters of Mohamed Morsi, the deposed president, hearing speakers. That's a nightly event, if you like. There are, though, protests going on in other cities of Egypt, including Alexandria and Asyut, and also Arish in northern Sinai. Earlier on Monday, we heard that 4 people at least had been killed in clashes between supporters of Mohamed Morsi and supporters of his overthrow. 1 person dying on the edge of Tahrir Square here in Cairo. 3 people dying in Qalyoub, about 20 kilometers away from the capital. That all comes on the same day as the family of Mohamed Morsi said they were going to launch legal action in Egypt and internationally. They're accusing the Defense Minister Abdel Fattah al-Sisi not only of instigating a coup, as the protesters here say, but of kidnapping Mohamed Morsi. They say that they're heartened by international calls for Morsi's release, but there don't seem to be any signs that that is coming soon. Some people think that what will happen, in fact, is that these protests in the long run might peter out and there could be a political deal. But across Egypt, there's certainly a lot of street pressure calling for Morsi to be released.
3 weeks on, a show of conviction in Cairo. These marchers clearly believe they can get Mohamed Morsi reinstated.
The mobilization by Mohamed Morsi's supporters in Cairo and around the country shows no signs of dying down. But what nobody knows for sure is when the man himself will be seen in public.
This was the last time the world heard from Mohamed Morsi, a televised speech the day before he was deposed as president. Since then, he's been held in an undisclosed location for his own good, say the military. Now his family say they've had no contact with him and they're taking legal action through domestic and international courts.
Kidnapping the president is part of kidnapping the whole country. It is no different from kidnapping the constitution, the authorities and the people. We're not surprised by the actions of the coup leaders, but what is really surprising is kidnapping a president in Egypt.
Rumours that Morsi was being detained at a Republican Guard base led to demonstrations outside, and earlier this month more than 50 Morsi supporters were killed in a confrontation with security forces. Germany and Turkey have said Morsi should be released straight away, but some believe the interim leadership are holding out for his movement to cut a deal, perhaps dropping the demand to reinstate him.
I think this is part of a game. I think that he should be released or he should be charged, but I'm thinking in terms of rule of law. I think they're thinking about it in terms of a negotiation with the Muslim Brotherhood, a negotiation that could actually result in the Muslim Brotherhood remaining a part of Egypt's political future.
For now, the pro-Morsi camp are keeping up the pressure on the streets, but how long that can last is hard to tell.
Well, the protesters here and in other parts of Egypt calling for the reinstatement of Mohamed Morsi are vowing to continue their campaign. We're expecting large protests this coming Friday. There hasn't actually been a great response to the speech earlier on, which was aired on national television by Adli Mansour, the interim president. I think most people regard what he has to say as irrelevant until the political leadership of the Muslim Brotherhood as well, some of whom are still in detention, until they're released and they can start formulating what happens next. But there is a definite call from the interim leadership here for some kind of consensus. The question is how long the Muslim Brotherhood and the Morsi supporters can keep up their hardline stance.
That is indeed the question. Nadim Baba, live for us in Tahrir City. Thank you. Against a backdrop of protests. Well, for more on this, let's go to Khalil Anani. He's a specialist on the Muslim Brotherhood and a scholar of Middle East politics at Durham University, and he joins us live from Cairo. That is the question that Nadim Baba had put to us. The main thing is, how much support does the Muslim Brotherhood still have? And can this momentum of protest still continue?
Well, I think so. I think now they are getting a lot of